So, hello everybody, welcome to Bajirao IAS Academy current affairs analysis session. And you all knew that from past few lectures we have been discussing current affairs from different subjects, right? So till yesterday, till last session, we have discussed science and technology current affairs. And from this session onwards, we are going to discuss some awards which are in news and appointments to important organizations, and also some books written by the authors and famous personalities, because these are also very important, and very often questions also revolve around these specific areas, right? So therefore in this session we have selected some very important topics, and we are going to discuss those topics in a very detailed manner, so that this discussion will be definitely helpful for your prelims examination, right? So without wasting any further time, let's get into the discussion and let's discuss the first topic. So the first topic is Nina Singh becomes the first woman chief of Industrial Security Force. Okay, so that means CISF, Central Industrial Security Force. And in fact, Nina Singh, an IPS officer, becomes the first woman chief Industrial Security Force. So we'll look into this article, and at the same time the Central Industrial Security Force as well, right? So a senior IPS officer, Nina Singh, took charge as the Director General of Central Industrial Security Force. Okay, that's fine. Now why it is in news, right? So it is in news because Nina Singh became the Director General of Central Industrial Security Force, and in fact she is the first woman Director General, first woman DG of the Central Industrial Security Force, and because of that reason it is in news. So you need to remember this because it is very important. It is significant because she is the first woman Director General of Central Industrial Security Force. Now, apart from that, she became the first woman head of a specialized security organization. And apart from that, she is the 30th Central Industrial Security Force Director General, right? So that is what you need to remember. And what is this Central Industrial Security Force? It is one of the armed forces in Central Paramilitary Forces. So the Central Paramilitary Forces, including Border Security Force, SSB, ITBP, CRPF, and also the CISF, they are armed forces, particularly the paramilitary forces. Now CISF provide security to various establishments across the country, right? So if you go to airports or metro stations or any other important industries, generally CISF personnel would provide security to those establishments, right? So some details with respect to Central Industrial Security Force. Now, in fact, it is one of the specialized Indian Federal Police agency. And in fact, so don't confuse that these paramilitary forces, whether it is CISF, CRPF, ITBP, Border Security Force, and Sahasra Seema Bal, so all these paramilitary forces comes under Home Ministry. They don't come under Ministry of Defense, rather they come under Home Ministry, including the Central Industrial Security Force as well. So don't confuse with this. However, on the other hand, Indian Army, Indian Navy, Indian Airports, so they come under the Ministry of Defense. Okay, so don't confuse with this. So CISF and other paramilitary forces comes under the Ministry of Home Affairs. And in fact, the Central Industrial Security Force provides security cover to over 356 industrial units and sites across the country, whether it is ports, airports, metro stations, important industries, and other establishments. To all those places, Central Industrial Security Force would provide security, right? So I hope you have remember the details with respect to CISF and its first woman Director General, IPS Nina Singh. So the next topic is France's new Prime Minister is being appointed. So there are some interesting details about France's new prime minister, so we'll try to understand those details as well. So we all knew that France president is Emmanuel Macron, right? So France president is Emmanuel Macron, but recently France has got a new prime minister. His name is Gabriel Attal, right? Gabriel Attal, and he is in news because of some interesting reasons. So we'll try to find out what are those interesting reasons, and because of that particular reason he is in news. So he is Gabriel Attal. So in fact, he is one of the youngest prime minister of France, because he became prime minister at the age of just 34 years, and because of that reason he is in news. And another interesting aspect about Gabriel Attal is that he is also the first gay prime minister of France, right? So he is the first gay prime minister of France, and because of that particular reason also he is in news. So however, the earlier prime minister was Elizabeth Bonney. Okay, so earlier prime minister was Elizabeth Bonney. However, so his appointment, the Gabriel Attal's appointment, was announced after the resignation of earlier prime minister Elizabeth Bonney. And in fact, so Elizabeth Bonney, earlier prime minister of France, was resigned over the immigration law. So there are some issues with respect to immigration law in France, and because of that particular reason Elizabeth Bonney resigned as the prime minister of France. After that, Gabriel Attal has been appointed as the prime minister of France. However, in the past also, so Gabriel Attal has been education minister and also public action and accounts minister in France, right? So these are some interesting details about France's new prime minister Gabriel Attal, right? So I hope you have remembered this. Next topic is Justice Ritu Bari will be the first female Chief Justice of Uttarakhand, right? So Justice Ritu Bari, first Chief Justice of Uttarakhand High Court, right? So in fact, Uttarakhand High Court never had a female Chief Justice of the High Court, right? So for the first time, Justice Ritu Bari will be appointed as the first female Chief Justice of Uttarakhand. So you just have to remember this, because these type of questions are very often asked. And apart from that, the other thing which makes this particular article, a particular topic, very important is that representation of women in the higher judiciary is very low, particularly in India Supreme Court and High Court. So because of that reason also it is very important. Now let's get into the topic. As I have already told you that Uttarakhand High Court is getting its first female Chief Justice. Her name is Justice Ritu Bari, and some details with respect to Uttarakhand High Court. So this High Court was established in the year 2000, right? So it was established in the year 2000 after Uttarakhand was carved out of Uttar Pradesh. And in fact, the main seat of Uttarakhand High Court is located in Nainital. Okay, so Nainital is the main seat of the Uttarakhand High Court that was established in the year 2000 after it was carved out of Uttar Pradesh. And in fact, the Uttarakhand State High Court has the jurisdiction over whole state, and it is instrumental in the interpretation and also enforcement of laws which are being passed by the parliament and also the state legislature, and also interpretation of the constitution. However, the total strength of the Uttarakhand High Court is 11 judges. Okay, so the total sanctioned length of Uttarakhand High Court is 11 judges. Now, Justice Ritu Bari's judicial career. So if you look at her career before, so she was first enrolled as an advocate with Bar Council of Punjab and Haryana way back in the year 1986. And she started practicing law in Punjab Haryana High Court thereafter. And in fact, she was also elevated as a judge of Punjab Haryana High Court on August 16, 2010. And now she is the first female Chief Justice of Uttarakhand High Court, right? So you have to remember this. And next is Bharat Ratna, highest civilian award of India, is been awarded to Lal Krishna Advani. So he is also famously known as LK Advani. So LK Advani was awarded Bharat Ratna. So we'll get into this details and we'll also understand some aspects with respect to Bharat Ratna. Okay, so recently on March 31st, 2024, March 31st, 2024, Indian President Srimati Draupadi Murmu on March 31st, 2024 honored the former Deputy Prime Minister Lal Krishna Advani, because he was formerly served as a Deputy Prime Minister as well, right? So he was honored with the nation's highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna. This date is important. Okay, so apart from that, you should also remember that Lal Krishna Advani received Bharat Ratna. So he is also one of the recipient of the Bharat Ratna award. So some details about Lal Krishna Advani. So he was born in Karachi, Pakistan before partition, November 8, 1927. And in fact, LK Advani, who previously served as the president of the Bharatiya Janata Party for an extended period since 1980, right? So previously he was the president of the political party called Bharatiya Janata Party since 1980. And in fact, he also had a notable political career spanning nearly 3 decades. So he was very active in politics for nearly 3 decades. It's a very long journey of Lal Krishna Advani. And in fact, Lal Krishna Advani also previously served in key positions such as Home Minister and Deputy Prime Minister under Atal Bihari Vajpayee's leadership from 1999 to 2004. When Atal Bihari Vajpayee's government served its full term, Lal Krishna Advani was the Deputy Prime Minister and also the Home Minister as well, right? So you should also remember this date as well. So when it comes to Bharat Ratna, so it is also important that we need to understand some details with respect to Bharat Ratna, because so they are in news and there is a high probability that questions can be asked from this particular topic. So Bharat Ratna, it was first established in the year 1954, right? So this was the year Bharat Ratna was established to recognize the exceptional service to the nation. So whoever provides exceptional service to the nation, in order to recognize their service, in order to recognize the contribution, Bharat Ratna was first established in the year 1954. And in fact, so Prime Minister usually recommends recipients' names to the President of India, right? So Prime Minister, who is the head of the, you can say head of the government. Head of the state is President and head of the government is Prime Minister, and Prime Minister usually recommend names to the presidents, right? So recommend names to the president, recipients' names to the president. And in fact, every year, the maximum number of awards, Bharat Ratna awards are given to only 3 members. Okay, only 3 awards, 3 Bharat Ratna awards can be given, per year, right? So there is a limit. So maximum number of awards is just 3 per annum, not more than 3. And in fact, the original criteria for awards was limited to arts, literature, science and public service. Okay, so this was the original criteria to award Bharat Ratna awards. Okay, so however, what happened was in the year 2011, the government has changed the criteria, right? So criteria, based on which the awards can be given to the recipients. In 2011, the government has expanded the criteria to include any field of human endeavor, to particularly to recognize their exceptional service to the nation. Now understand that earlier only arts, literature, science and public services are only recognized as part of exceptional service, right? As part of exceptional service and to be eligible to receive Bharat Ratna award. But the ambit has been expanded in the year 2011 to include any field of human endeavor. So I hope you have understood this. So you need to understand that it was first established in 1954 and Prime Minister recommend names of recipients to the President, and also per annum the maximum limit of Bharat Ratna awards is just 3 awards. And apart from that, so earlier the criteria was limited to arts, literature, science and public services, but 2011 the government has revised and broadened the ambit of broaden the ambit any field of human endeavor. So they can be given Bharat Ratna award. Now what is the significance of Bharat Ratna award? Now Bharat Ratna represents the highest esteem and recognition for exceptional service to the nation, right? So any field of human endeavor but exceptional service to the nation, and it also honors the values that India strives towards. So that's why Bharat Ratna is a very, very important and significant. Right. So some other details with respect to Bharat Ratna award. So it is the highest civilian award of India. So we all knew that, right? So the second highest civilian award is Padma Vibhushan, right? So we'll also discuss about that as well. So but Bharat Ratna is highest civilian award of India. So you can also go through some other technical details, right? So a minute details with respect to Bharat Ratna award, that it is 3.1 mm thick, 5.8 centimeters in length and 4.7 centimeters in breadth, right? So it is a people leaf shaped award. So Bharat Ratna generally looks like this, right? So it is people leaf shaped award, particularly exceptional service of the highest order. Okay, so Padma Vibhushan, second highest civilian award, Padma Bhushan, third highest civilian award, and Padma Shri, fourth highest civilian award. And every year usually the central government provide these awards to different individuals for their service, for their contribution to the nation. Okay, so next is 2024 Padma awards. So we'll also understand that because in 2024 some individuals were given Padma Vibhushan awards, Padma Bhushan awards and also Padma Shri awards, and because of that particular reason it is in news. Okay, so in the year 2024 5 eminent personalities received Padma Vibhushan. So they received Padma Vibhushan, right? So what is Padma Vibhushan? It is second highest civilian award in India, second highest civilian award in India. So who were given the Padma Vibhushan? I mean, who were given Padma Vibhushan in the year 2024? So these 5 personalities were given Padma Vibhushan award, right? So Vaijayantimala Bali. So she's actually very famous for Bharatanatyam. Sorry, she is very famous for so she's given Padma Vibhushan. And apart from that, Kunidala Chiranjeevi also received Padma Bhushan. We all knew that he's a very famous a Tollywood movie industry actor. M. Venkaiah Naidu, so he was a former BJP politician and also served as a vice president of India, and then a famous social reformer. But Padma Vibhushan award has been given to Bindeshwar Pathak posthumously. So he is a social reformer, and Padma Subramaniam also received this award. So Padma Subramaniam is actually a renowned Bharatanatyam dancer, right? So Bindeshwar Pathak, so he is a social reformer, but he has been given this Padma Vibhushan award, so particularly after his death, right? So these 5 eminent individuals have received the Padma Vibhushan award. So you must remember the names of all these 5 individuals, right? There may be a question that who received Padma Vibhushan award this year, right? So a question may be asked. And apart from that, 17 individuals are also given Padma Bhushan. Now, what is Padma Bhushan? It is the 3rd highest civilian award, right? So 3rd highest civilian award in India. So you can also go through these individuals. M. Fatima Bibi for public affairs, she was given the 3rd highest civilian award, that is Padma Bhushan. And Hormuzji N. Kama in literature and education, and Mithun Chakrabarti, particularly art, cinema, so he was given Padma Bhushan award. And Sitaram Jindal, trade and industry, and Young Liu, trade and industry, and Ashwin Balachandar Mehta in the field of medicine, and Satyabrata Mukherjee in the field of public affairs, Ram Nayak, public affairs, Tejas Madhusudan Patel, medicine, and Olanchari Rajgopal, public affairs, and Dattatreya Ambadas Mailu, art, and Togdan Rinpoche, spiritualism, and Pyarelal Shraman, art, and again Chandreshwar Prasad Thakur in medicine, Usha Uttap, art, Vijay-Kant, art. And so Vijay-Kant was given a Padma Bhushan award posthumously after his death. And Kundan Vyas, journalism. So these 17 individuals received the 3rd highest civilian award, Padma Bhushan, and 5 individuals received the Padma Vibhushan award, that is the 2nd highest civilian award in India. So you must remember the names of at least these 5 names of Padma Vibhushan awardees, right? So next is we'll understand the difference between Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan, and Padma Shri awards. This is also important. There may be a question that about these Padma awards. So UPSC itself asked about these Padma awards. So therefore Padma Vibhushan, as I have already told you, that this is the 2nd highest civilian award. 2nd highest civilian award. And in fact, it is important to note down the date when it was instituted. So it was instituted on 2nd January 1954, right? So this particular date, a Padma Vibhushan award was instituted. So it was instituted on 2nd January 1954. And in fact, Padma Vibhushan given for exceptional and distinguished service in different fields. And in fact, government servants, including those working in the central public sector undertakings, except doctors and scientists, are not eligible to receive these awards. So you have to understand this. Whoever working with the government, whoever working in the government, particularly the public sector undertaking, so they are not eligible to receive these Padma Vibhushan awards, except doctors and scientists. For example, one scientist who is working with ISRO, right? So ISRO is also a public sector undertaking, but he is allowed to receive Padma Vibhushan. And a doctor who is working in AIIMS also allowed to receive Padma Vibhushan. So except doctors and scientists, so remaining individuals who are working with the government are not allowed to receive Padma Vibhushan award. That you should understand, because this is very important. And you should also remember that this is the 2nd highest civilian award, and it was instituted on 2nd January 1954. And next, Padma Bhushan award, right? So Padma Bhushan award, so again it is the 3rd highest civilian award. 3rd highest civilian award after Bharat Ratna, Padma Vibhushan, and then Padma Bhushan. And again, this was instituted on 2nd January 1954, and it was given for distinguished service of a higher order. service in any field, including service rendered by government service, including doctors, scientists, but again it also excluding people who are working with the government, particularly PSUs, public sector undertakings, again except doctors and scientists. And least, the fourth highest civilian award is Padma Shri, right? So Padma Shri is again the fourth highest civilian award. So you remember this because this is very important. So it is fourth highest civilian award of Republic of India, and after Bharat Ratna, Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan, and then Padma Shri. Okay, so again it was instituted on 2nd January 1954. 2nd January 1954, Padma Shri was instituted, and in fact this award is conferred in recognition of distinguished contribution by various spheres of activity, including arts, education, industry, literature, science, acting, medicine, social service, and the public affairs. So on all these different arenas or fields, exceptional service would be recognized by giving them Padma Shri award. So I hope it is very, very clear for you about the Padma awards of 2024. However, a lot of people have received Padma Shri award, but it is not that important to remember all those names. But it is important if anyone received either Padma Vibhushan, Padma Bhushan, or Padma Shri awards from your particular state, right? So, for example, Yam Venkaya Naidu from Andhra Pradesh, and Chiranjeevi is also from Andhra Pradesh. So anyone who belong to your particular state, so you should remember them, and in which field they've got this particular award. So that also you should remember that. Apart from that, so all other things we have discussed about the Padma awards. And again, another important award, that is Bharat Ratna, is also announced for Karpuri Thakur, right? So he is from Bihar. Karpuri Thakur is from Bihar, and Bharat Ratna is announced for Karpuri Thakur. So I hope you remember that earlier we have discussed that Lal Krishna Advani was also given Bharat Ratna award. However, so Bharat Ratna award is also announced for Karpuri Thakur for his exceptional service, right? So we'll understand this. So central government has recently announced Bharat Ratna for late Bihar leader Karpuri Thakur in his birth centenary year. Okay, on his birth centenary year, the central government has announced Bharat Ratna award to Karpuri Thakur. I hope you have remembered how the Bharat Ratna awards are being announced, right? So Prime Minister recommends recipients' names to the President, and accordingly President announces or President give Bharat Ratna award to the individuals based on the recommendations of the Prime Minister. Okay, so on the basis, late Bihar leader Karpuri Thakur announced, this Bharat Ratna award is announced for a late Bihar leader Karpuri Thakur on his birth centenary year. And in fact, Karpuri Thakur is known as Jan Nayak, or he is also known as People's Leader. Okay, so he is known as Jan Nayak or People's Leader, and Thakur was also Chief Minister of Bihar twice, and he was also pioneered in social justice policies despite hailing from a marginalized caste himself, right? So he is Karpuri Thakur, and he came from a very backward and marginalized caste. So despite belonging to a lower caste, a marginalized caste, he became the Chief Minister of Bihar twice. And in fact, he also pioneered in the social justice policies, and because of that particular reason, he is known as Jan Nayak or People's Leader. And in fact, Karpuri Thakur is also inspiration for the marginalized individuals, marginalized communities, because of his social justice policies and his efforts to uplift those marginalized communities. So in Bihar, we all knew that the governments have been thinking about the caste census, conducting a caste census. So there are demands for caste census, demands for the reservations, and caste census and reservations have been dominating the discourse, the political discourse across the country. And in fact, Karpuri Thakur symbolizes empowerment of hopes for India's vast disadvantaged sections, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and backward classes within the other backward classes, OBCs. And he always fought for the dignified life and equitable representation of those marginalized communities. And because of this particular reason, he is a source of inspiration for the marginalized sections. And in fact, conferring Bharat Ratna to a leader like Karpuri Thakur is a recognition, is a honor of his pioneering efforts to uplift millions of marginalized sections in this country, right? So you have to remember that Karpuri Thakur, so he is also known as Jan Nayak or People's Leader. He hails from Bihar and he served as a chief minister of Bihar twice, and he also belonged to the lower caste, right? So in fact, he was announced Bharat Ratna by the Union government. So those things you just have to remember. And next, so 2023 Jnanpith Awards were announced, right? So Jnanpith Selection Board, Jnanpith Selection. So Jnanpith Selection Board announced 2023 Jnanpith Award recipients. So who received 2023 Jnanpith Awards? So this is very important. So we'll look into this. So Jnanpith Awards, they were first instituted in the year 1961, right? So this year Jnanpith Awards were instituted, and in fact these Jnanpith Award recognizes exceptional and landmark lifetime contributions by the writers who have contributed towards enriching Indian literature, encompassing works across all recognized Indian languages, right? So whatever recognized languages that we have, for example, 22 languages are being recognized by the Indian Constitution, and they are included in the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution. I hope you knew about that, right? So therefore, the Jnanpith Awards recognizes the contributions of all the writers towards enriching the Indian literature canvas by encompassing works across all recognized Indian languages. So 22 recognized Indian languages. 22 recognized Indian languages. So they are part of the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution. And in fact, the Jnanpith Award comprises a cash prize of 11 lakh rupees and a citation plaque and also a bronze replica of goddess Saraswati. Okay, so this is what the Jnanpith Award recipients will be given. So they will be given 11 lakh rupees of cash prize and a citation plaque, and also a bronze replica of goddess Saraswati will be given to the recipients of the Jnanpith Award. However, on February 18th, 2024, the Jnanpith Selection Board named a famous Indian poet, lyricist and also filmmaker Guljar, along with eminent Sanskrit scholar and educator Jagadguru Rambhadracharya as a joint recipients of prestigious Jnanpith Award for the year 2023, right? So remember that both Guljar and Jagadguru Rambhadracharya jointly receive the 2023 Jnanpith Award, and this was announced by the Jnanpith Selection Board on February 18th, 2024. And why Guljar is being given the Jnanpith Award? Because he is a famous Indian poet, a lyricist and also a filmmaker, and Jagadguru Rambhadracharya is an eminent Sanskrit scholar, and because of that reason 2023 Jnanpith Award is being awarded to these two individuals. Okay, so I hope it is clear about the Jnanpith Award 2023. Next is again Bharat Ratna Award has been announced by the center to 3 more prominent individuals, right? So we'll discuss about that. Okay, so Bharat Ratna conferred on former Prime Minister Narasimha Rao, Charan Singh, and also agriculture scientist MS Swaminathan, right? So in fact, we all knew that Narasimha Rao was the former Prime Minister. And in fact, Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister when India had gone for 1991 economic reforms. And Chaudhary Charan Singh also served as a Prime Minister of our country. And also MS Swaminathan is very, very popular in India because he is the pioneer of Green Revolution that has increased food productivity, food production several times, and that has also ensured food security for the millions of population in India. And in fact, Green Revolution has also made India a food surplus country, right? A net exporter of food grains, and completely, or we can say reducing India's import dependence on food grains. Right, so because of these particular reasons, Bharat Ratna has been conferred on former Prime Minister Narasimha Rao, Chaudhary Charan Singh, and also agriculture scientist MS Swaminathan. So we'll discuss about this. So PV Narasimha Rao, so he is also known as the architect of India's reforms, right? So he is the architect of India's economic reforms because before 1991 economic reforms, so India was a closed economy, and you could see there is a license Raj. Okay, so there is a license Raj all across the country, and foreign direct investment is not allowed, right? So there is a trade is also not allowed. But after 1991 LPG reforms, so we had LPG reforms after 1991, liberalization, privatization, and globalization, and that has changed Indian economy from a closed economy to a free market economy, right? So then India became a free market economy. And in fact, the main architect of India's economic reforms was PV Narasimha Rao, right? So former Prime Minister PV Narasimha Rao served as the 9th Prime Minister of India from 1991 to 1996. During his period, LPG reforms were launched, right? So you need to remember that PV Narasimha Rao served as 9th Prime Minister of India from 1991 to 1996. And in fact, he was widely credited as the architect of India's economic liberalization in 1990s. Okay, so LPG reforms, so mainly because of Prime Minister PV Narasimha Rao. And in fact, PV Narasimha Rao also adopted certain policies that opened Indian economy to a global markets by dismantling license and permit Raj system. And apart from that, there are some interesting facts about Prime Minister Narasimha Rao as well. So he is known as modern day Chanakya, right? So former Prime Minister PV Narasimha Rao is also known as modern day Chanakya, and he participated in Satyagraha at the age of 17 years. And in fact, he could also speak 9 Indian and 8 foreign languages. And a rupee was made convertible on the trade account during Rao's regime. Okay, so there are 2 different types of transactions. So current account convertibility and capital account convertibility, and he allowed the current account convertibility to allow FDIs on a large scale. And in fact, Prime Minister Narasimha Rao is also credited to launch the Look East policy. Now it is changed into Act East policy by the new NDA government in the year 2014. Okay, so he was the one who initiated Look East policy, to particularly strengthen relations with East Asia and Southeast Asia, and he was also known as modern day Chanakya. And rupee was made convertible on trade account during Narasimha Rao's regime, right? So these are all some important and interesting facts about Narasimha Rao. But the central government has announced Bharat Ratna to PV Narasimha Rao as well. And secondly, Chaudhary Charan Singh will be given Bharat Ratna award that the union government has announced. And in fact, Chaudhary Charan Singh is a very staunch supporter and advocate for farmers' rights, right? So he very often advocate the farmers' rights in India, right? So in fact, he was also the former prime minister, and in fact, he will be honored with the Bharat Ratna posthumously after the death for his unwavering commitment and invaluable contributions for the welfare of the farmers. So because of the welfare of the farmers, in recognition of Chaudhary Charan Singh's contributions for the welfare of the farmers, the union government has announced Bharat Ratna posthumously for the former prime minister Chaudhary Charan Singh. And in fact, before becoming prime minister, Chaudhary Charan Singh was the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh state twice, and he also held several important portfolios at the national level, including the finance minister and home minister, before becoming the prime minister, right? So these are some details with respect to Chaudhary Charan Singh, and union government has announced Bharat Ratna award for the Chaudhary Charan Singh. So there are some important facts about Chaudhary Charan Singh also. So Chaudhary Charan Singh made important contribution for the welfare of the farmers and the farmers' rights, and because of that reason he is known as champion of Indian farmers, champion of India's farmers. And in fact, he remains Uttar Pradesh only Jat CM ever, and he served as the 5th Prime Minister of India. And in fact, he also wrote books including Abolition of Jamindari, and he forayed into politics, and it was influenced by Mahatma Gandhi's non-violence. So these are some important facts about Chaudhary Charan Singh, but you need to remember few things: that he is a champion of India's farmers, and he served as a 5th Prime Minister of India, and his book Abolition of Jamindari, that is written by Chaudhary Charan Singh. Right. So next is MS Swaminathan. He is known as father of India's Green Revolution, right? So he is known as father of India's Green Revolution because he pioneered Green Revolution. So at that point of time, before 1960s, India used to depend on other countries, right? So it used to depend on other countries for the food import. But after 1960s, due to the efforts of MS Swaminathan, so India was able to produce adequate amount of food grains because of high yielding variety seeds were introduced, wheat and rice crops that had increased productivity and production manifold. And because of Green Revolution, India now have a huge buffer stock. Okay, so that buffer stock is also very often used to sustain crores of BPL population through the public distribution system, right? So because of all these reasons, MS Swaminathan is known as father of Green Revolution because of his contribution with respect to introduction of the high yielding variety seeds. So he is a renowned agricultural scientist. So MS Swaminathan has been honored with India's highest civilian award for his instrumental role in pioneering Green Revolution in India, right? So because of that particular reason, so posthumously MS Swaminathan has been awarded Bharat Ratna award by the Indian government. And in fact, some details with respect to MS Swaminathan and his contribution to Indian agriculture in the year 1960s, in the decade of 1960s, Swaminathan implemented a new technology, and he also introduced innovations in agriculture that transformed India's food security situation. Now we became a food surplus country. That is primarily because of Green Revolution pioneered by MS Swaminathan and his introduction of high yielding variety seeds and modern irrigation techniques, and also the optimal usage of fertilizer. So all these things have led to a remarkable increase in the crop productivity in wheat and rice. And because of this contribution of MS Swaminathan, in order to recognize the contribution of MS Swaminathan, the Indian government has announced Bharat Ratna Award posthumously for MS Swaminathan. So I hope you have understood this, right? So the next topic is Prime Minister Narendra Modi so recently received Bhutan's Order of Druk Gyalpo. Okay, so Order of Druk Gyalpo is Bhutan's highest civilian award, right? So it is Bhutan's highest civilian award, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi receives Bhutan Order of Druk Gyalpo. And apart from that, recently Prime Minister Narendra Modi also received a highest civilian award of Nigeria, right? So because of all these reasons, it is important. And the conferment of Bhutan's highest civilian honor, right? So conferment of Bhutan's highest civilian honor to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In a significant gesture, Bhutan's king conferred Order of Druk Gyalpo. So that is Bhutan's highest civilian order upon Prime Minister Modi. See, one thing that you need to remember here, that Order of Druk Gyalpo is the highest civilian award of which country? So that is how question may be framed. And secondly, Order of Druk Gyalpo is given to which personality? So that is also that is how the questions are being framed, right? A significant gesture, Bhutanese king conferred Order of Druk Gyalpo, which is Bhutan's highest civilian honor, to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And in fact, this is marked the first time a foreign dignitary had received this coveted award, underscoring a strong bond between the two countries. So Bhutan before never given to this Order of the Druk Gyalpo to any foreign dignitary. But Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the first foreign dignitary to receive the Order of the Druk Gyalpo, which is Bhutan's highest civilian award. And Prime Minister was presented with the Order of Druk Gyalpo, Bhutan's civilian honor, and that was conferred on him in 2021. And apart from this particular highest civilian honor of Bhutan, so other countries also announced their highest civilian awards to the Prime Minister. For example, apart from Bhutan, Palestine has also given its highest civilian award to Prime Minister. That is Grand Collar of the State of Palestine Award. So that is highest award for the foreign dignitaries, that was given in the year 2018. So Russia has also given its highest civilian award, Order of St. Andrew Award. So that is highest civilian honor of the country. And to Afghanistan also given State Order of Ghazi Amir Amanullah Khan. So again, that is also highest civilian honor of Afghanistan. And Saudi Arabia, Order of Abdulaziz Al Saud. So highest civilian honor named after the founder of modern Saudi state. Again, UAE, Order of Jayed Award, and Maldives, Order of Distinguished Rule of Nishan Ijuddin, and South Korea, Seoul Peace Prize, and USA, Legion of Merit. Okay, so all these countries have announced their highest civilian awards, so highest foreign dignitary awards being given to the Prime Minister before as well. However, it is important that you need to remember all these awards and countries which have given these awards. Next, author Amitav Ghosh wins Erasmus Prize for the year 2024, right? So because of this particular reason also, so it is in news, what is Erasmus Prize, who is author Amitav Ghosh, for what reason Amitav Ghosh has been awarded Erasmus Prize of 2024. So we'll understand this. Indian author Amitav Ghosh has been awarded the prestigious Erasmus Prize of 2024, right? So the prestigious Erasmus Prize of 2024 has been awarded to Indian author Amitav Ghosh, right? So there may be a question that Erasmus Prize 2024 is awarded to which Indian author? So that's how questions are being asked. And in fact, this Erasmus Prize is given by Netherlands-based Premium Erasmanium Foundation. So this particular foundation, Premium Erasmanium Foundation, for his significant contributions to the theme imagining the unthinkable through his writings on the climate crisis and also human interactions with the nature. So particularly for this particular reason, Indian author Amitav Ghosh has been awarded this Erasmus Prize of 2024. And what is this Erasmus Prize? So Erasmus Prize is awarded every year to an individual or an institution that has made an exceptional contribution in the field of humanities or in the field of arts, right? For those individuals and institutions, this Erasmus Award will be awarded every year. And in fact, this Erasmus Prize consisting of 1,50,000 euros in prize money and will be presented to Ghosh in the autumn of 2024, right? So that is the Erasmus Prize, and author Amitav Ghosh has received this Erasmus Prize for his contributions on the theme imagining the unthinkable through his writings, climate crisis and human interactions with the nature. Next, 96th Academy Awards. So Academy Awards are also known as Oscar Awards. So we'll also understand some key details with respect to Oscar Awards of 2024 and the winners. Okay, so 96th Academy Awards. So they were held at Dolby Theatre in Los Angeles, right? So you should also remember this. So the recent Academy Awards or Oscar Awards, so they were 96th Academy Awards and they held at Dolby Theatre in Los Angeles, USA, celebrated the best cinema for the year 2024. And in fact, Oppenheimer, so we all knew about this particular film directed by Christopher Nolan. So he is one of the best directors because he was the director of Interstellar movie. So Oppenheimer emerged as the night's biggest winner because Oppenheimer has got most number of Oscar awards in this 96th Academy Awards, right? So in fact, Oppenheimer has got 7 Oscars, including the coveted Best Picture award as well. And in fact, Christopher Nolan's biographical film based on the inventor of atomic bomb also earned the director Christopher Nolan for his Best Director Oscar as well. And in fact, for Christopher Nolan, this Oscar award is first Best Director Oscar award, right? So you need to remember few things, that Oscar awards are also known as Academy Awards, and this year it is 96th Academy Awards. So they were held in Dolby Theatres, Los Angeles, USA. And Oppenheimer, a film, got 7 Oscar awards, including the Best Picture award as well. And the director of the film, Christopher Nolan, has got the Best Director Oscar award for this particular film, and in fact it is his first Oscar award. And apart from that, some other individuals have also received this Oscar awards in the year 2024. So Best Picture, Oppenheimer, and the Best Director, Christopher Nolan for the film Oppenheimer, and Best Actor in Leading Role, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer again, and Best Actress in Leading Role, Emma Stone for Poor Things, and Best Actor in Supporting Role, Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer. So because of all these reasons, it has got 7 Oscars this year. Okay, so you need to pause this video and you should go through all people who have got the Oscars this year 2024. And apart from that, we'll try to understand what is the history of Indian movie makers receiving Oscars, right? So in fact, the best costume design, Bhanu Atia received Oscar for Gandhi in the year 1983. And in fact, so best sound mixing, so that is Rasul Pukutti, Slumdog Millionaire in the year 2019, and best original song Jai Ho, A.R. Rahman and Guljar, Slumdog Millionaire again 2009, and best original score A.R. Rahman, Slumdog Millionaire in the year 2009, and best documentary short subject Guneet Monga, Period, End of Sentence 2019, and best documentary short subject Kartiki Gonzalez and Guneet Monga's Elephant Whispers to 2023, and best original song Natu Natu from RRR, music director MM Keeravani and Chandra Bose. So it also received Oscars in the year 2023, but generally it is Indian movies are getting very less number of Oscars compared to movies from other countries, right? So this is the brief history of Indian movies getting the Oscar awards. So next is Idashisha Nongrang is appointed as Meghalaya's first woman DGP, right? So because of that reason, so it is a very important. So on May 11 2024, senior IPS officer Idashisha Nongrang has been named as Meghalaya's first woman Director General of Police. So that means Meghalaya before did not have a woman DGP, right? So Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma officially announced this landmark decision of appointing Idashisha Nongrang as the first woman DGP of the state of Meghalaya. Okay. And another significant aspect of Idashisha Nongrang is that she is the first tribal woman to ascend to this prestigious rank. And what is the selection process of DGP? So generally the selection of new police chief was overseen by the Meghalaya Security Commission, and this Meghalaya Security Commission is chaired by the Chief Minister Sangma himself. And from a short list which is being approved by the Union Public Service Commission comprising 3 candidates, Nongrang was chosen to assume the role as the DGP of Meghalaya state, and so you should remember her name as well. And next, so Indian entrepreneur Gopi Chand Totkora to join Blue Origin space mission. So it is very important, it is very significant, because so after Rakesh Sharma, who is the first Indian to go to space, so Gopi Chand Totkora is the second Indian to reach to the to go to the space, and because of that particular reason it is very important. So Indian entrepreneur Gopi Chand Totkora to join Blue Origin space mission. So we'll understand what is this Blue Origin space mission. So Blue Origin is a space company. So this particular company is founded by Jeff Bezos. So Jeff Bezos also founded Amazon e-commerce company, right? So it is one of the major e-commerce companies in India also, right? So Blue Origin is also a space company, a space tourism company, right? Like how Elon Musk has established SpaceX, in a similar way Jeff Bezos has also started investing in this Blue Origin company. So this particular Blue Origin company has recently announced that Indian national Gopi Chand Totkora will be part of 6-member crew on the next New Shepard mission. Okay, so he is Gopichand Totkura, and he will be part of a 6-member crew on the next New Shepard mission of Blue Origins. So that is why it is in news. And if this New Shepard mission of Blue Origins is successful, Gopichand Totkura will become the second Indian citizen in space after Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma. So because Wing Commander Rakesh Sharma was the first Indian to reach space in the year 1984 by Soviet help, and he was the first Indian civilian astronaut, right? So Gopichand Totkura will be the first Indian civilian astronaut to go to space. And about New Shepard missions, we'll also try to understand some details with respect to this New Shepard mission of Blue Origins. So Blue Origins New Shepard mission successfully completed its first crewed suborbital flight in July 2021. Okay, and in fact this Blue Origins New Shepard mission is a reusable rocket system, and in fact this New Shepard mission is named after America's first astronaut in space, Alan Shepard, right? So first American in space was Alan Shepard. On his name this mission was named. Okay, so it has carried a crew of 4, including founder Jeff Bezos, his brother Mark, and aviation pioneer Wally Funk, and also student Oliver Damon. And in fact this capsule has reached an altitude of 107 kilometers before safely returning to the Earth, marking a significant milestone in the company's quest for commercial space tourism. So this Blue Origins company is founded by Jeff Bezos, this individual, and it wanted to enter into the commercial space tourism, right? Commercial space tourism. So Jeff Bezos understood the potential of commercial space tourism, and because of that particular reason, so the Blue Origin company has been established by him, and it is also started its trials, its testing, technology demonstration to become a full-fledged commercial space tourism firm, right? So, and next is Bihar bird sanctuaries have recently got again international Ramsar status. We'll also understand a few things about this, right? So Ramsar sites are wetlands which are being given Ramsar site status by the respective governments. And in fact Ramsar is a city in Iran, right? So, and this Ramsar convention was signed in the year 1971 in this city in Iran, and because of that reason it is known as Ramsar Convention on Conservation Protection of Wetlands. So recently Nagi and Nakti bird sanctuaries in Bihar were named wetlands of international importance under the Ramsar Convention. So this shows that India is serious about protecting its wetlands, because one thing that you need to understand, wetlands are very, very important because they protect the local biodiversity, right? And they also provide a livelihood for the local communities who are living there, fishing, and they are also important sources of fresh water, irrigation water, sources of tourism as well, and a lot of migratory birds will come to those wetlands. And because of all these reasons, wetlands are very, very important. But because of the anthropogenic causes, these wetlands are disappearing, and disappearing wetlands is a cause of a concern. Because of that particular reason, it is very important to be very serious when it comes to conservation and protection of these wetlands. And that's why India has been recognizing important wetlands of international importance, and India also giving those wetlands the Ramsar status as well. And so Some details with respect to Nagi and Nakti bird sanctuaries. So both these bird sanctuaries are located in Jamui district of Bihar, right? So they are located in Jamui district of Bihar, and they were the first made by people as ponds for irrigation. But over time, these marshes have become important places for many kinds of plants and animals. They're also supporting the biodiversity, and also a lot of birds, migratory birds, are coming to these wetlands, right? So they are also becoming important tourist spots as well. So disappearing wetlands also make these species which are dependent on wetlands to go extinct, and because of that reason, so these wetlands are very, very important. And in fact, Nagi and Nakti bird sanctuaries cover 791 hectares and 333 hectares, and they are dry deciduous woods, hills all around these bird sanctuaries. And some details with respect to the Ramsar sites, right? So Ramsar is an international treaty for the conservation and wise use of wetlands, and Ramsar Convention is actually named after an Iranian city, Ramsar, on the Caspian Sea, where the treaty was signed in February 2nd, 1972. And that's why World Wetland Day is also celebrated on February 2nd, because Ramsar Convention was signed on February 2nd, 1971. So you should remember this, because this is very important, right? Apart from that, what is the aim of the Ramsar Convention? So the aim of the Ramsar Convention is that develop and maintain an international network of wetlands for the conservation of global biological diversity, and also for sustaining human life through maintenance of their ecosystems, their components, processes, and benefits. And after this Ramsar Convention was came into existence, India ratified the convention in the year 1982. So India legally became part of the Ramsar Convention after 1982. And in fact, so Kiladiyo National Park in Rajasthan and Chilka Lake in Odisha were the first and second sites to be placed under the Ramsar list by India. So this is very, very important. So you need to remember, first is Kiladiyo National Park in Rajasthan, the first Ramsar site, and Chilka Lake in Odisha is the second Ramsar site. And in fact, the Union government has also launched a program called Amrit Dharohar Yojana for the conservation of these Ramsar sites with the help of the local communities, right? So Amrit Dharohar Yojana is a scheme or a program related to which of the following things? So it is about the conservation and protection of the Ramsar wetland sites through community participation, that you need to remember. So World Wetland Day is celebrated on February 2nd because on February 2nd, 1971, this Ramsar Convention was signed by the parties, and India ratified this convention after 10 years in 1982. So you have to remember all these facts, and these are very, very important. You just pause the video and go through the details. And these are Ramsar sites across India, and for example, if you belong to Odisha or if you belong to West Bengal, so you go through all these Ramsar sites in your respective states, right? So because it is not easy to remember all these wetland sites, right? Next is Indian Peacekeepers wins 2023 UN Military Gender Advocate Award, right? So we'll understand some details with respect to United Nations peacekeeping as well. So first we'll try to look into the details of this UN Military Gender Advocate Award. So Major Radhika Sen, right? Major Radhika Sen, so she is an Indian peacekeeper. She is stationed in Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. Major Radhika Sen won the prestigious United Nations Military Gender Advocate for the year 2023. Okay, so this is UN Military Gender Advocate of the year award 2023. And in fact, this award was given to her because of her outstanding service and active participation in gender sensitive projects at the UN peacekeeping operations in MONUSCO. Okay, so what is this MONUSCO? Okay, so in fact, it is a United Nations Security Council created MONUSCO the organization stabilization operation in the Democratic Republic of Congo, right? So it was established in the year 2010. Okay, and in fact it is one of the biggest UN efforts to keep the peace, with about 16,300 people working there, right? So they belong to UN and they wanted to establish peace and stability in those African regions. Okay, so these are some details with respect to UN Military Gender Advocate Award. And apart from that, some other details such as what is this United Nations peacekeeping force. Okay, so because India is one of the largest contributor of United Nations peacekeeping force, and because India is the largest contributor of United Nations peacekeeping force, India has suffered the highest number of casualties among the peacekeepers of the United Nations since past 75 years. So India, committed itself for a peace, non-violence, and because of that reason, so India always stands for the peace. So that's why India is one of the largest contributor of United Nations peacekeeping force. So when it was established, so UN peacekeeping forces were established when United Nations Security Council approved deployment of UN military observers to the Middle East in the year 1948, right? So apart from that, what is the purpose of United Nations peacekeeping force? So United Nations peacekeeping forces generally go to the conflict areas, right? So conflict areas or unstable areas or violence hit areas, and the United Nations peacekeeping force generally assist nations in transitioning from war into peace. Okay, so they help countries to make a transition from war to peace, carrying out measures which are being approved by the United Nations Security Council and United Nations General Assembly. Now, what are the guiding principles of United Nations peacekeeping force? So consent of the parties involved and impartiality, non-use of force except in self-defense and defense of the mandate, right? So these are the guiding principles of United Nations peacekeeping force. The composition of United Nations peacekeeping force, it deploys soldiers, police, and civilian peacekeepers from around the world to carry out the peacekeeping missions. Now, International Day of UN Peacekeepers is also celebrated generally May 29th every year, right? So, and May 29th every year is celebrated as International Day of Peacekeepers, and 2023 year theme of this particular day is that peace begins with me. And what is India's contribution so far to the United Nations peacekeeping force? So India has so far contributed around 275,000 peacekeepers. Okay, so in fact India is the first country to have an all-woman peacekeepers contingent. Okay, so it is the first country to contribute UN all-woman peacekeepers contingent. And in fact, in over 51 UN peacekeeping missions, India has deployed significant number of women peacekeepers as well, and they also play a very important role in establishing peace and also helping countries make a transition from war to peace. And it has also deployed a significant civilian and police personnel, including all-women contingent in the year 2007. It has deployed an all-women contingent in the year 2007. Now, fatalities. So when it comes to the fatalities, India suffered highest number of casualties since India is one of the largest contributor to the UN peacekeeping force. So it has suffered highest fatalities. And there are certain measures that can be taken to control the fatalities. Okay, so you can go through those measures, and Dag Hammer Shield medal is generally also awarded for the UN peacekeepers, right? So it is a medal, posthumous award. So after the death of these, in case of any unfortunate thing happens and in that particular incident any of these peacekeepers die, so this Dag Hammer Shield medal is being given, and in fact it is the highest honor awarded to the UN peacekeepers. and who have distinguished themselves by exceptional courage, devotion to duty, and sacrifice in the cause of peace. And in fact, this Dag Hammer Shield award was established in the year 1997, and in fact it is named after the Secretary General, the second Secretary General of the United Nations, Dag Hammer Shield. Right, so these are some details with respect to the United Nations peacekeeping force, and that's all in this session, and thank you so much. So if you like our work, please subscribe our YouTube channel and also hit the like button. Thank you.